is I'm allergic to punk niggas, cause all we know is getting young. What do you want when you making the most?
What's good, y'all? And I am back with a story time. Hey. Okay, so this story, as you can already see by the title, is the time that I got catfished. Now, this happened like so many years ago, so long ago. I was in like, what grade was I in? I don't even think I was in high school yet. I was like in 8th grade. Yeah, I definitely was in 8th grade. So, Facebook was popping back then. Like, everybody was on Facebook. This was before it became, to me, for the old people. Now, I had a Facebook.
That's right.
I had a Facebook, and I was just on there one day, and somebody like sent me a friend request, and I'm like, okay, whatever, sure, I guess I accept it. And that's when poking was still popping, so he poked me, and I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna poke you back. He was cute, so poked you back, and we was just poking each other.
Yo, auntie, if you don't change your word.
We was just poking each other. So then he like hit me up on like the instant message one day and was like, just hey or hi or something like that. And we just started talking, on Facebook for a little bit. And it was cool, it was nothing big, nothing major. He lived like in the same city as me, but we weren't close near each other. So he actually lived like near my cousin's house, and at the time she lived in like the northeast part of Philly, like near Frankfurt. If you're from Philly, you know what that is. So yeah, and I lived in like West Philly at the time. So we was just talking. Then one day, I don't even remember how he like asked for my number, but he asked for my number. I gave it to him. Then we started talking. We was talk all day. We would talk all day. We would text all night. Like, just, it was cute, sweet, I guess. And it was nice, I guess. At the time, I thought I liked him and stuff like that. Then they would be like, and we could video chat back then, like, so I would try to like get on Uvu or Skype, like, hey, Skype me or something. Ew. And then it was like always a problem, or my camera was broke, or this happened or that happened. It was just always an excuse. Like anytime I tried, it was just an excuse. And at first, in the very beginning, he didn't even want us to be on the phone with each other, because he was like, I remember we was texting, I'm like, can you call me? Like, I'm tired of texting you all the time, just call me. He like, oh, I don't want to text because I don't want to talk on the phone because my voice sounds funny. People always messing with me saying I sound like a girl, I'm embarrassed. I'm like, what? I'm sure it's not that bad. Like, you could get on the phone. So I finally convinced him to call me. And when I first heard his voice, it did sound a little weird, I'm not gonna lie. But eventually it didn't sound like a girl's voice. It just sounded like he didn't, his Adam's apple or whatever, just he ain't have it in his throat. He couldn't say it with his chest. So, yeah, so I was just like, Uvu me. I want to see your freaking face. Like, I'm tired of freaking talking on the phone. I'm tired of freaking texting. I can't ever see you because it's always an issue. And I would go to my cousin's house sometimes and be like, I was always scared though, to actually go see him. So I would just be playing around when I say like, oh, like, let's meet up. But it was just always an excuse. So he was like, no, his camera, whatever. And then one day, my friend, I knew what high school he went to. He was older than me. He was like a year older than me. So I knew what high school he went to, and my cousin, she went there. So she was telling me, she was like, oh, I heard you knew so-and-so. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I do, blah, blah, blah. Like, wow, what's up? Like, you know him? Like, what he look like? Like, tell me. Let me know who this person is. I need to know if he's a real person or not, because I'm starting to think he's catfish. So she was like, yeah, like, I be seeing him at the basketball court sometimes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, so he's real. That's good. He's like not a catfish. That's all that mattered to me. So I left like everything else alone. Like I just forgot about it all. Continued to talk, blah, blah. And then one day, randomly, he was talking to me and he said he got in a freaking car accident. And was it a car accident? I think it was. Who cares? He got into some type of accident and he was in a hospital and he couldn't pretty much a whole bunch of stuff was wrong with him. He had to like get surgery, maybe all this other stuff like that. So he started texting me off of his brother's phone. And one day it was like almost late at night. I know I was in the bed or whatever. His brother texted me and was like, oh, so-and-so wanted me to tell you, you know, like everything is fine, blah, blah, but this is what's going on. His mom had took his phone from him because she found out that we were talking. And he was just like, yeah, so I'm gonna, you know, let him talk to you when I'm at the hospital visiting him, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. But after that, it was just like, it just seemed real weird. And then I started talking more with his brother, it seemed like, and not him. So I'm like, I don't know what y'all think this is, what y'all trying to do, but not with me. So we're gonna have to cut this short because he's in a hospital, like something is wrong. Somebody's lying. And I don't know who it is, and I know it's not me. And I'm over it. By that time, I probably was starting like somebody else at school, so maybe that's also what had happened. But it was just real weird. And then like one day, his brother, he sent me a picture of himself. And I was like, hold up, like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? But y'all, let me tell you. Can you like butt out?
I'm gonna end up watching it anyway, so what's your point?
So watch it then.
Say like I'm too.
So watch it then. When I tell y'all that this thing was like,
You was out of pocket.
I was like, is this real? Excuse me? It just looked fake. But the picture was blurry, so I couldn't really tell. It could have been anything. But he was weird. His brother, who was in the hospital faking like he was sick, was weird. And you know, a couple years later, I was still like trying to look to see like if he like created a picture somewhere else. And he only had a Facebook. I think he had a MySpace, but I never like went to go follow it or anything. But he only had a Facebook. He didn't have any other social medias. So that was another sign. So if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signs like I did, girl, just walk away, leave it alone. It's not meant for you, okay? Anything that is meant for you will come to you.
Auntie.
So make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below of more stories that you may want me to do, or challenges or anything, and give it a like. Did I say that already? Subscribe. Peace.